Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving in, hitting the deep end today with sources looking at, well, what are the toughest faith questions out there? Why does God let things go sideways sometimes?
Mhm.
We're exploring material all about Christian faith, suffering, and this really radical idea of like complete surrender to divine guidance.
Right. And the core thesis here is it's almost audacious, isn't it? It basically tells you, the listener, that if you truly let Jesus guide your life, he will absolutely do all things well.
Why?
But, and this is crucial, the sources don't sugarcoat it. They admit the path often feels really rough, the burdens seem unbearable, and things can look just deeply unfair.
That's the real tension, isn't it? The material insists the Savior isn't blind to what we're going through. He's not uncertain. He's not hesitant. He guides with perfect clarity.
Perfect clarity.
But then that trial hits. You get passed over for that promotion, a relationship just falls apart, or you get a scary diagnosis. And our default, the human thing, is always to ask, why? Why this? Why now?
Exactly. And we see those things through our own very limited lens, right? What feels harsh or even destructive to us right now. Well, God sees it completely differently. His wisdom is just way beyond our grasp.
So it's a perspective shift.
Totally. The source doesn't frame this pain as, like, punishment. It's more like a mechanism for growth. It suggests that real character, deep character, maybe isn't forged in just one huge crisis, but in that slow burn of, repeated smaller injustices or those difficult setbacks that really test your patience, maybe erode your confidence.
So these unfavorable moments, the tough stuff, they're specifically described as potentially shaping your character, strengthening your faith, or redirecting your life toward his eternal purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And this ties right back to that key promise mentioned all through the text. The guarantee that, in the end, all things, even the really bad ones, will work together for your good.
Yeah, that Romans 8.28 idea. And if you're looking for, like, the ultimate proof of this principle, the source points straight to Jesus' own life on earth. I mean, he lived without any sin, yet he experienced the whole spectrum of human suffering, rejection, deep injustice, friends betraying him, leading right up to the horror of the cross.
And what's so striking there is that, to anyone watching, the crucifixion looked like total failure, like the definitive end of everything he stood for.
Absolutely. A complete disaster from a human viewpoint.
Yet the source says this apparent catastrophe was actually God's plan unfolding perfectly, just in ways nobody could see at the time, and Jesus' response through it all, simply trusting the Father's will, even when it led straight into that immense pain.
And that example, it leads us right into the most practical part of these sources, because there's a potential misunderstanding here, isn't there?
Yeah, like, is this just spiritual bypassing? Ignoring real trauma just to focus on some vague hope, especially maybe from a secular view?
Right. That's a fair question.
So how does the source material handle that? It seems very clear. Trusting Jesus does not mean being passive or just ignoring your responsibilities. It raises the question, if God's ordering everything, why do we still need to, hustle, work hard, pray for wisdom?
Because active trust, according to these texts, is the process. It's how you align your will with his. It means walking continually with him, actively seeking wisdom in prayer, thinking on his word,
Okay.
and making every decision, big or small, basically an opportunity for Christ to lead. You're still responsible for taking the steps, but you're surrendering the outcome to him.
Ah, that's the distinction.
Exactly. And even when you mess up, because we all do, grace is there to correct your course, not to condemn you for it.
So that really reframes the idea of control, doesn't it? Instead of feeling like you have to carry the weight of manipulating every outcome.
Right.
The payoff for this surrender is described as this profound stability. Like a quiet confidence replaces that frantic anxiety, and a settled hope replaces fear. The focus shifts completely off trying to control the future and onto just being obedient, loving, and faithful right here, right now.
And the benefit isn't just feeling vaguely happy. It's described as a really grounded, resilient peace. Plus this deep, abiding strength that comes from knowing you aren't fighting these battles all by yourself.
So the final call to action here seems pretty straightforward. Surrender your steps, your plans, your whole heart. That's presented as the path to real stability, real resilience, trusting that what looks confusing or just plain bad today, it's part of his perfect design.
Yeah, and maybe the one thought to really hold on to from this deep dive, something the sources really emphasize, is this. While you might not see the whole picture today, that chaotic job situation, that confusing relationship issue, the full beauty and purpose of his plan will be revealed one day in God's perfect timing. It's a waiting game, but one based on complete certainty.